Actually, my husband inspired me as his mom had all of her children at home. I honestly thought that all babies were born at the hospital. In this day of time, I didn't think that was even an option, to have your baby at home or in at a hospital birth center. Once I heard of that, I started doing some research and just felt in my heart that we should explore other options. That's when we found our out-of-hospital birth center and went to do a tour and consultation just to kind of find out more about it. Fell in love like literally as soon as we stepped in the door. The smells, the atmosphere, the warmness that we felt.
And as we started to explore our option, we found birth centers, freestanding birth centers, out-of-hospital birth centers. And as we researched them more, and I say we, it was really more her researching them, because I really was just totally open to an at-home birth or a birth center birth, or all of the above, whatever we found out what worked. And what we had done is we did quite a bit of research, just seeing what was available to us. And when we had completed the research, we started to explore options. We would go and interview midwives and interview care providers. And we ended up going to the most, the one we felt connected to the most, and the one we felt that would be the most conducive to a safe yet spiritually powerful environment. As we connected to our care provider more, and myself and my wife became more and more educated on the process. It was quite fascinating what we found ourselves somewhat transitioning from thinking we knew about birth to actually educating ourselves. And I say educating ourselves, it wasn't us going and doing all we did the research, but we went and found people who were educated in the community. And really, it was really quite fascinating and comforting to know that there was all these other groups of people who were extremely passionate about natural childbirth and what it means and the experience behind it. And so as we're researching, we were finding these other educators and doulas and just so many different facets of this life. And so navigating through all of that, we went and took a childbirth education class, and that was a big moment for the both of us to realize how little we actually knew about birth. Jen, my wife, is in the medical field, and we still felt just childish when we started to learn about natural childbirth and the process behind it. I came from more of a natural childbirth background, and she didn't. She came from a more medically driven birth experience, and so we had a decision. Who do we please? Because my side of the family was more naturally driven, if you will, and hers just hadn't been exposed to that all that much. And I feel like had we not have done the research, let's say we made this choice blindly and didn't study and didn't connect with the community, I would have never realized what was going on, and I would have felt much more scared and fearful through the birth process, being there watching my wife do things that I would have had no idea why that was happening had I had not taken and connected to the community at large. What we experienced was wow, there is so much more than we had ever thought imaginable. In this one decision, this one choice we made to go this route. Like I said from the very beginning, we had a choice to make, and we made the choice based on research and study. So we take this childbirth education class, and it was a childbirth education class, and it actually educated us on the whole process behind it, what my role is, what my wife's role is, and of course you know what hers is, but you really don't necessarily. I mean, you do, but you find out what's going on more. You find out, the anatomy, I guess you could say, and the process of what their body is going through as that labor's happening, and transition, and endorphins and oxytocin and all that really fascinating stuff, and pain coping and rhythms, and just all the really extremely important things. So as we went through all of that, of course it was very, very applicable when labor came around. We were fully prepared. Hey, well, this is why she's tapping on the tub really, really hard because she's pain coping through a contraction, and just let that happen. It's okay. You know, help her breathe through it, keep her rhythm solid, and things of that nature. So, so baby came. It was a beautiful experience. Jen, she initially tried to have the baby in the water. Just, you know, that was her birth plan. It didn't work out that way. She just couldn't find a good push. Ended up getting out and having the baby outside with the midwives all helping. Zathan, he didn't breathe right away, but the midwives jumped right on it, and they didn't do resuscitation, just gave him a little bit of oxygen, and boom, breath of life was breathed right into him, and you know, he cried for a little while, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience.